battle, the red, white and blue smoke standing out gloriously against the bright sky. As everyone pulls to the vertical, he pulls the aircraft into short diamond formation. 5,500 feet over the top in the loop. Out to our right-hand side, the smoke has come back on as we form the first of our historic formation shapes. Representing the 50th anniversary of the Apollo moon landings, Red 1 has called the aircraft into Apollo. As the nose lights come on towards us, Red 1 will ease the nose up, the smoke will come back on for the Apollo roll.
Easing up,
Upside down. Red 1 has called the aircraft into Concorde. As they come in from the left-hand side, Reds 8 and 9 will be underneath the formation, looking like the engines of the Concorde on final approach to Heathrow Airport. Red 1 speaking with a very metronomic cadence, the other pilots reacting to the tone and rhythm of his voice, rather than the movements of his aircraft. In from the left-hand side, the smoke about to come on for Concorde. On the right of Red 2 in Concorde is another new pilot for 2019, that's Red 4, Flight Lieutenant Gregor Ogston. Gregor has previously flown the Harrier and the Typhoon on the front line. He's instructed on our newer version of the Hawk and is in his first year on the team. Red 1 now calling the aircraft into one of our most technically difficult formations to fly, with 6 aircraft all flying in line abreast and Red 6 and 7 tucking in behind. It's Phoenix. On the left of Red 1 in Phoenix is Red 3, Squadron Leader Mike Bowden. Mike has previously flown the Harrier and the Tornado. He's instructed on the Hawk and is in his 5th year on the team. Get those cameras ready, the coloured smoke about to come on for the Phoenix pass. Red 1 rolling Phoenix out to our right-hand side, the coloured smoke about to come off before the aircraft represents another shape from history. This time it's the aircraft that was the mainstay of Bomber Command operations in World War II. It was also involved in the D-Day landings, of which we celebrated the 75th anniversary earlier this year, commemorating the event with flypast in both Normandy in France and in the UK. It is, of course, the Lancaster. As Red 1 banks the aircraft in towards us, the nose lights will come on, the aircraft will ease up, the smoke will come on, ready for the Lancaster roll.
rolling out. Easing up, swivel, gate, up, roll.
Upside down at 2,500 feet, the Lancaster roll. Now, many of you may not think the Lancaster is very much a left wing to the Lancaster is Red 5, Squadron Leader Steve Morris. Steve has previously flown the Harrier and the Tornado. He's been a Hawk instructor and returns to the Red Arrows for the 2019 season. Well, as a distinct distinctive Lancaster moves off to the left. It's time for one of our favourite manoeuvres of the display. For all you budding photographers out there, get your cameras ready. We're about to represent the combat aircraft that retired from RAF service earlier this year, having served on the front line for 3 decades on operations with our North American brothers and sisters, served in Afghanistan, Iraq, numerous other locations. Reds 8 and 9 about to drop to the back of the formation. The smoke will come on. Red 1 will call 8 and 9 to roll in Tornado. Aboard calls Red 9 as Reds 8 and 9 put the coloured smoke on, rolling around the rest of the formation. Red 1 about to bank the aircraft to the left, changing smoke colour as they go in Tornado. Well, as the spectacular Tornado finishes off to our right-hand side, that signifies we're approaching the end of the first half of the display. So far, you've seen all 9 aircraft in graceful formation shapes across the sky. Well, as we enter the second half, we're about to step up a gear, we're about to up the tempo, as Red 1 breaks the formation down into 2 sections. The front section of 5, nicknamed Enid, after the British author Enid Blyton, who wrote books about the famous 5. The rear section will break down from a 4-ship to the opposition solos known as the Synchro Pair, with Reds 8 and 9 doing the dynamic manoeuvring down the line. Red 1 has put the aircraft into dagger formation, that cloud out to our left-hand side just preventing us from doing the full start to our second half, but he can adapt throughout the display, switching between the full, the rolling and the flat to give you the best display possible. As the aircraft come in towards us from show center, it's time for the first big split of the display. Enid, the front 5, will pull up with the white smoke, the rear section with the colored smoke. It's time for the detonator.
Low recovery.
Enid, break, break, go, calls Red 1. Keep your eye on the back 4. In the jibbo pass. Reds 8 and 9 roller coastering down on top of them. First the turn, crossing 100 feet apart in the cyclone. 6 and 7 continue to pull towards each other. They'll cross smoke paths, slipping as they go in the slingshot. Down the middle in the goose. Pulling up to the vertical, Red 9 is Flight Lieutenant Dan Lowe's. Dan is a former Typhoon pilot and weapons instructor. He's on his 3rd and final year with the team. In the vice versa. Before simultaneously rolling in the revolution. The smoke comes back on as Red One gathers the 7 aircraft together, about to rank them to the left. Making way for the next maneuver. In the carousel. The aircraft moving like a pendulum as they enter the turn. Red One is about to push them into a reverse battle formation. This time we've got the even numbers on the left and the odd numbers on the right. In order to get back onto the right side of the formation, we're going to perform a maneuver called the slalom. There it is, the aircraft slalom to the correct side, and the coloured smoke about to come on as they're back in battle formation. Now, as with any display, the Royal Air Force aerobatic team is a real team effort. We have 11 pilots wearing the red suits, but over 120 blue suits, our support team who cover everything from maintenance through to administration, logistics, photographers and everything in between. And a part of that team is the dye team that put the red and blue dye in the smoke for passes like this. Each aircraft has 5 minutes of white smoke, 1 minute of red and 1 minute of blue, all operated by buttons on the control stick. In the corkscrew. Because here comes Enid. There go, the signal for 4 and 5 to roll. Lead sings Red 5 as the symmetrical rollbacks finish off to our right-hand side. And 6 and 7 once more staying low with the smoke on as they prepare for the last of their opposition maneuvers. In from the left and right, the white smoke about to change to red and blue for the imaginatively titled Double Rolls. Ladies and gentlemen, you've been watching the Red Arrows!